All right. Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. We're going to be talking some fantasy baseball, ADP, risers, and fallers. We'll be right back.
The Fantasy Six-Pack Hour.
All right. Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour presented by FanDuel. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me over here in the all-red, AJ Applegarth. Over here, matching me in the blue, is Corey Pieper. What's going on, man? I'm splitting it, but I'm more blue, so I'm on Team Corey.
Yes. I see.
Well, he's got a Philly shirt on. What's your shirt? I'm trying to figure that out the whole time here.
Me?
Mine?
Yeah, you. Well, AJ's is a Philly.
It's American University. Is where I used to work.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I got this for like 5 years or something like that. Boss bought it for me. I was like, that's pretty cool. It's a pretty nice shirt.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. So, as I said in the intro, we're going to be talking some ADP risers and fallers. It is March 12th. So, just a couple weeks away from opening day. So, these last couple weeks, drafts are in full swing for sure. But we've got a ton of ADP data to NFBC. And that's where we're pulling our data from here. It is going to be, we did stick to 12-team formats in NFBC. I didn't want to mix the 15-teamers and the 12 teams together when I did the ADP poll. And I don't know. I sort of made the assumption that a lot more people play 12-teamers that probably listen to this than 15-teamers. Sorry if you do. I would bet that still some of this risers and fallers still benefits you, but the numbers might be slightly different for those. But yeah, let's get started here with. We're going to start with the fallers here, and I'm going to go with the first guy here that sort of caught my attention, and that is Carlos Estevez. The perceived closer in Kansas City here, but over the last, so we did like we did 2 week chunks. So we did like from a month ago, 2 weeks, and then we did the last 2 weeks and compared it. So within like that span of time, he has dropped 10 spots in the ADP here. So people are starting to lose a little confidence in Estevez. Corey, why do you think that is, and are you buying it?
Yeah, well, the reason they're losing confidence in him is he's not throwing hard at all. So he made 2 appearances in spring training before heading off. He's pitching for Team Dominican Republic in the WBC. I believe he pitched 1 clean inning in the WBC so far. But before he left for the WBC, we got some StatCast data from him. So from TJ Stats at Twitter, TJ Stats, the game where he last pitched, he was touching roughly 88 miles per hour. Has yet to hit 90 miles per hour. That was February 27th. Last season, he was throwing about 95 miles an hour. If you're talking that type of a drop, to be down a little bit this early is fine, right? You're just getting warmed up, but 5 to 7 miles an hour. Closers don't typically succeed when they're throwing under 90 miles an hour. You have to be real special. So it makes sense to me. They have in-house replacements. I think last year at this time I don't know, I'm talking to you, speak for you guys. I was betting at this time last year that Lucas Erceg would be the closer in Kansas City. No. That didn't come to fruition. I was very much wrong on that. And this offseason, they went out and they traded for ex-Philly, who's been good a long time, at Strom. So I said it before we got on the air, like 15 teams, so back to 15 teams. Late in the 15-team league drafts where I typically get caught out on closers, I get 1.5 good ones, and then I just take a shot. I would take a Matt Strom really late because I think there is a chance that Matt Strom could get some saving opportunities in Kansas City.
Yeah, that's definitely concerning here. Yeah, it might, would probably be a closer that I would look to fade here, knowing that unless we start seeing a uptick in velocity the last week or so here before some of these drafts. I don't think this is a guy that you really want to trust as your for a lot of people, he was probably like their top closer. He was in that like third tier of guys, I would say, but near the top of that third tier, which was still considered a somewhat reliable tier. But yeah, that's not very good. AJ, any thoughts, or just move on to our next?
Yeah, I mean, just real quick, obviously, Strom ex-Philly, Estevez also ex-Philly. So interesting that they are reunited, but I don't think it does feel so good. I think that Estevez is going to be a problem. He was a problem in Philly. I don't know. I mean, I liked him a few years back, and he was finally seemed like he was putting it together before he came to Philly. That's why they went out and got him. But he was atrocious when he got to Philadelphia, and they had to remove him from high leverage situations altogether because he just could not get it done. And that's looking at basically, last year he was looking at like a just over 7K per 9. I mean, that's not good. He's just not. He's not anybody that I'm targeting. Maybe in one of these bigger leagues if he falls far enough. But where he's fallen right now at just over 10, not enough for me to go after him.
Yeah, it makes sense. Another pitcher that is falling just slightly is Spencer Strider, the once coveted ace of the league. No more, it seems like, but spring training numbers don't look bad. Still 11.8 Ks per 9, so the strikeouts looking like they're back during the spring. Walks are down to 2.16. ERA is looking, 3.24. So it's that averages out to I think about like 2 earned runs in 8 innings or something like that. I don't know. I can't do the math now. I don't know the earned runs up. But 3 earned runs. So he did pitch a clean game last time, 4 shutout innings, struck out 5. I think the concern that everybody has right now still is his velocity's down. It's sitting around like 94, 95. But this was a guy that, was routinely throwing 98, back when he was Spencer Strider that, we all got to know. AJ, what's your thoughts on Spencer Strider? Do you think this he went from a 102 to a 112 ADP?
Yeah, so I mean, again, we're looking at roughly 10 spot drop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty on par. Maybe a little high, honestly. I mean, just from name value alone and what we've seen from him. Velocity drop in spring training is kind of a double-edged sword. When you typically look at it, it's okay, well, pitchers in general in spring training are trying to figure things out. They're not necessarily looking to blow people away. They're tweaking with some mechanics and making sure that everything is good to go for the actual season and that sort of thing. Obviously, a major dip in velocity is a red flag, but Strider's got the pedigree. I think that, he's going to be okay. He might just have a bit of a slow start. So I think this is pretty warranted. Again, not somebody I'm necessarily targeting, but I'm not against targeting him either. If the price is right, I'm all about jumping on that.
Yeah, I am fading him. I get that he's looking decent in the spring, and the price is probably right for him. But I just, we saw him do well in the minor leagues last year, his rehab starts, and then came back and looked really, really bad, and then got injured again, and then looked bad. Like it wasn't good. Like, Corey, what do you think about him? And then, on top of this, FanDuel's over here giving him a strikeout prop for the entire year of 168 and a half strikeouts. Over is at negative. They're both at minus 113. So the over under is dead even, like as far as odds for them. So which way are you going on that?
Also, Strider was my bust when we did it. Was it 2 weeks ago when we did busts? I had Strider as my starting pitcher that I didn't particularly like. So getting him down here a little bit, that helps it, of course. And it's good to see that his ADP is dropping a little bit, but I still won't touch that. You guys mentioned it's all about the velocity with him. It really is. Like, he came into the season, he was throwing, I think the first couple starts, it was 93. You mentioned the other day he was looking a lot better, and it was closer to like right around 95. That's still not quite to where we want it. You mentioned it, Joe, when he was at his best, he was pushing 97. I think it's really how hard can he throw the ball without having arm problems. And I'd love to be wrong and see him be back. So what did you say the prop was? 150 strikeouts?
168 and a half.
I would take the under on that because, so let's say he strikes out, he'd almost have to push at least 10 and a half per 9 innings, I think, again, because I don't think he's getting, he threw 125 innings last year. If he gets to 150 innings, he's got to strike out around 10 per 9. I would be more willing to take the under. When he was at his best, he was striking out 13 and a half per 9 innings.
Right.
I mean, that's ridiculous, right? But it's been 2.5 seasons since we've seen him do that, 2023. So I would take the under on that.
And I think it's close, but I really do think he could hit that number even with just 150, 155 innings. You give him a 10 and a half K per 9 rate. That's going to do it. It's just, I think the issue with him is going to be health, but I think it's a good number. I'm still fading him just because I'm worried, about the ERA and the WHIP and things like that with him. But I
will say that all the projection systems are more optimistic about his health than I am. Like, take away ZiPS, which is kind of like the least calculated, and it's all between 155 and 161 innings. Which, if he pitches that, then yeah, I think he gets it. But I'm a little more pessimistic on his innings, I think.
Yeah. If he hits those projections, then he's definitely gonna beat his ADP. But let's move over here to a couple of batters and start with one who probably wasn't super popular early, and then probably became a little bit popular, and now seems to be falling back in the other direction. And that is Eugenio Suarez. I did not look up his February, like January to February ADP. I kind of wonder what that was. I should have looked it up. But earlier, 4 weeks ago, it was around 97. Now it's dropped to 102. So not a huge drop, but it is kind of interesting that he's going the other direction. I'm really excited for him in Cincinnati. I really do think he's going to do well there. I also play in a lot more OBP leagues, so I don't have to worry about his batting average drain. But so I do understand the concern and why he might get faded in a batting average league. I don't know, Corey, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I really like the value on Eugenio Suarez a lot, actually. I'm willing to take him certainly at that 97. I'll take him ahead of that even if I feel like I'm deficient in power. I think I just look at this, and he played in the last time we saw him in Cincinnati, right? It was 49 home runs, 103 RBIs in 2019. The next year, 31 home runs, 79 RBIs. Then that one year he hit 198, but the year before that he hit 271. Like, do I think he's going to hit 271? No, but can he hit 240? I wouldn't. It's within the realm of possibility pretty easily. He can get to 240, and can he hit 40 home runs there? Yeah, really easily. So I'm fine taking him at his cost. Like, I think you have to realize that the batting average can be a concern, but it also might not be nearly as bad as people think. Like 228 last year, the year before 256, 232, 236. He hits 230 and he goes 45 home runs and 115 RBIs. That's not out of the realm of possibility at all.
Yeah, I think that's definitely achievable with him. You mentioned his previous time in Cincinnati. Obviously, early in his career, younger, the average was definitely on the higher side for most of those years, aside from that 2020 year and 2021. But before that, 248, 260, 283, 271. That 2017 season, I feel like is kind of where it's a good mix of where I'm picturing him going this year. 156 games, still had a 13% walk rate. K rates was way lower than it was the last couple of years, obviously. That does tend to scare me because he is going, in the wrong direction there for sure. And Joe, you mentioned the OBP leagues. I mean, his OBP was not impressive the past few years either.
Right, but it doesn't kill you like a 228 batting average doesn't.
Correct.
I'm not expecting a below
398
again, but if you can get it back up to like 320, you're right around league average, at least for OBP. And I think
I mean that's what you want to hope for. Or even if it's just a shade under that. I think it's still worth the cost for sure. He's going to be playing games. I mean, he's been a picture of health. Now that I say that, he's probably not going to be. But
thanks, man. I only have him in almost every league, jerk.
I do not have him yet. Apparently, I will not be getting him either.
AJ knows,
but the power is legit.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
Yeah. Again, I'm actually somewhat excited for him to be in Cincinnati. He knows the ballpark. It sounds like he's really seems rejuvenated to be there. So I am looking forward to seeing that.
Next, he's also not playing the field. Sorry, just a quick notion. He's not going to play the field at all. So he's playing DH this season. So hopefully that keeps him healthy.
Yeah.
Because they keep Ryan Hayes at third base, who's an amazing defender, and with Sale Stewart at first and stuff. They've basically said he's going to play full-time DH. So
yeah, and he's batting cleanup. So okay.
Yeah. Right now that's it's been sort of a mixed bag in spring, but that's hard to say what it is. But all right, another batter here. This one a little more higher up in the drafts overall. Rafael Devers dropping a little bit, almost 7 spots total. So again, not a lot, but interesting to see a big name like him that high up in the draft drop that far. You don't see a lot of guys drop over half a round within the first that's the first 5 rounds of a 12-team draft. He, last year moving to San Francisco, the batting average was by far the worst of his career, outside of 2018 randomly. But the power was just, you don't have to worry about that. Even in San Francisco, he did pretty well hitting home runs there. So I forget who went first last time. I think Corey, you did. So AJ, what do you like? Are you buying the dip on Devers here? First base eligibility only too. So that's another thing to consider.
Yeah, that dings him a little bit, but I don't know if it's enough to really, discount him that much. Based on what you're getting with the power, especially in San Fran. That's not an easy place to just crush balls. So I think his his hard hit rate last year was up at 40%. Medium still at just over 47. So he's still hitting the ball, and hitting it hard. So I think that he's worth the cost right now. If he keeps dipping, for sure. It's still, like we said, it's still kind of an earlier pick. So you're getting him, in that late 4th, early 5th round, basically. But yeah, if you miss on the top 4 or 5 first basemen, and you load up, on other hitters and maybe an ace pitcher in those first 4 rounds, I don't see why not. Going after that power is legit.
Yeah, he's right in that, the bottom part of the first baseman that I feel like you really feel confident about like what they're going to give you. After him and Matt Olson, who are kind of neck and neck as far as that like last spot, and Freddie Freeman's kind of in there too. After them, it's kind of a crapshoot to me. I'm like just all about just waiting after them. I know people, reach for Pasquantino and guys like that, but I just don't feel like he does anything different than, a Torkelson like 8 rounds later. As far, he does. He's a little bit better, but I don't know if he's 8 rounds better. That's my take on it. So like if I don't get one of those guys, then I'm just out on first base. I'm not even worried about it. Corey, what's your take on Devers real quick?
I'll take any discount we can get. I think he's amazing. I think he's awesome. I mean, last season coming off of, yes, the batting average might settle more to like 245, but career high barrel rate, career high hard hit rate, 56%. Those are elite marks. That's like he's going to hit the ball out anywhere. I know San Francisco can be tough on left-handed power. It doesn't really matter to me. He is currently 0 for 11 with 6 strikeouts in spring training. If you remember, he started like 0 for 20 with like 20 strikeouts last season. He's too good.
Didn't he set a record for that?
It was a terrible start. I don't remember if there was a record. It was a horrendous
Corey,
start.
we know all about that. Remember, we got like accidentally auto picked him in because we like it's a minute clock, and we were like this guy we clicked it and it was like Devers. It was like, no, we don't want Devers. And then he started off this like over 30 crap, and I'm like, what is happening? So needless to say, we didn't do very well in batting average in that league. But yeah, he's an interesting one to me. I do like him overall. Like I don't really target the high end first baseman very often. It's kind of fall that way for me. But if I can get a tip on Devers like that, I'm probably going to take it. Like I'll probably have a lot more Devers on my team if that actually were to happen. Interestingly enough, we talked about a strikeout total on FanDuel for Strider. We've got a home run total for Devers. And Corey, I think you looked it up earlier. I had it and my screen locked me. Oh, there it is. His home run over under right now over on FanDuel is 30.5. The over set at minus 106. The under on minus 120. 31 home runs in a full season in San Francisco. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Over. He can hit it out anywhere. Over.
Right. I think he can do it. I mean, the power is clearly there. And only half of his games are going to be in San Francisco. So
true. Yeah. He'll get some bonus from Colorado too. That helps for sure. But
he's got at least 15 home runs when he pitches. Have you seen the Colorado pitching staff? I could hit a home run off of that.
No, you couldn't. But okay,
that's probably true.
That's fair. Yeah. To be fair, so in 90 games last year, he hit 20 bombs for San Francisco. So very good pace there if he can keep that up. Hopefully he can get that batting average back up. Man, I'll take a 260 at this point. Like, I don't think it's as bad as 236. I think he was just like pissed off and was just like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna go hit bombs. And you know what? This year, he's got Luis Arias. It's batting in front of him, who's gonna get on base every freaking time he gets on the up the bat. So like RBI is galore for him, man. There we go. All right, a couple pitchers here. I'll let you guys split the difference here so we can move on. We've got 2 young guys, Bubba Chandler, who has gone from 149 to 159, and Trey Yesavage has gone from 146 to 164. Corey, you get to go first on this one, I think.
I'll take Trey Yesavage. So they are being extremely cautious with him. That's why his value is dropping, and it should be. If you remember, he looked incredible in the postseason. There was 2 or 3 starts. I think one of them was like Game 6 of the World Series. He struck out 11 Dodgers in 7 innings, and instantly his ADP, you knew it was going to jump up there. But because they pitched so late, they are being uber cautious with him. They have said they're going to slow his ramp up. He has yet to pitch in spring training. They are having him throw simulated games. the question is, I think he'll be just fine on the innings he pitches, but he is going to be this year's version of, I don't know, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but like, remember Jared Jones a couple of years ago, and then he ended up getting hurt anyways, but the Pittsburgh would take him out after like 4 dominant innings. Right now, the projection has Trey Yesavage around 70 innings on. I've actually got Baseball Reference up here. Let's pull up FanDuel quick. The projection systems over there have him around 110 innings. I think that's fair, like around 110 innings, but
ATC and Bat X and those guys are up at like 134.
I don't know. I think if he does, he blows through the 164 average, like the 164 ADP the last 2 weeks. I think then he's probably a top 10 round player, but I'm concerned that I don't think he's getting that high. I think it's around 100. They're going to be very cautious with a guy who, looks like a future star and is 22 years old. So they're going to be real cautious with him.
Yeah, I mean he'll be hitting 23 this year, but that's like just kind of hitting into pre-peak time. I don't think I see him hitting that 134 mark either. They're going to dodger him and do their thing and just play him. If for whatever reason they decide they're going to go to a 6-man at some point, or especially early in the season where all these games are kind of just super spread out, I wouldn't be surprised to see him just not pitch a lot in April, March, April. And then once May starts hitting around, I think he'll be ramped up a little bit more. But I mean, again, Toronto's coming off a World Series appearance. They're thinking that they're going to be back there. So why not preserve him and let him kind of just take some bullpen reps or something, towards the end of the season, just to kind of build some innings and keep him somewhat fresh. I know there's a lot of talk about, is that going to screw with these guys? They're starters, and then you want to go and put them in a bullpen and this and that. I don't know. I think he's good enough to not have that phase him. And I think he's going to be an important piece for them down the stretch, more so than throughout the early, run of the season. But Chandler, on the other hand, I want to love this guy. I really do. And I just can't, so far in spring, he's got 6 innings and a whopping 13.5, Ks per 9. But last year when he finally came up, he was not that good. He had an ERA right over 4. His expected ERA was 3.66, and nearly 40 points higher than that. Again, it's kind of his first big league experience and whatnot. So you got to take that into account a little bit. But I just don't know what to make of him. And we've got the ADP. Previously it was right around 150. Now he's down to 160. So it's not a terrible drop. But I feel like for me it's farther than just 10 points.
Yeah, for me with Bubba Chandler, like with the young guys like this, especially one who came up and kind of struggled to some degree last year, you want to see him come out in the spring and dominate, right? Especially against lesser talent, right? That he's pitching against. He's not pitching against full major league lineups usually, right? A 10.5 ERA, not great, although he straight up dominated the last time he went out, so he's getting better. The whip, not good though. He's still just walking too many guys, and that's the big red flag for me with a young pitcher like this. Talent oozing out of him. I'm not ready to buy into it yet, though. I will let somebody else deal with this, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I get a 160 ADP probably isn't a huge draft cost, and like whatever you toss out the window, but I don't believe in him yet. Not yet. I think it's coming,
Yeah.
but we might be a year too early on him. As far as Yesavage, for me, Yesavage, man, I'm sort of a little bit more optimistic on him. I think maybe he comes, really starts pitching mid-April for them and just starts rolling. Maybe they only let him go like 5 innings every game. Maybe they give him the Paul Skeens treatment that the Pirates did last year to Yesavage, right? And just only let him go like 5. Maybe they skip a start here and there, or whatever. But I think he's going to be really, really good for them. But
can I talk about Chandler? Oh,
sure.
If you're done, I thought you were done.
No,
so
go ahead, man.
I'll push back. I think you're all both underselling how good he is. Last season, the 31 innings. I happen to know this for a fact because I was at this game where he in 31 innings gave up 14 total earned runs. 9 of them came in 2 2/3 innings against the Brewers. He walked 4 guys. He walked 3 of them in that one game. So you take that one game away, which, it counts against it. But like the last 3 starts of the season, he gave up exactly 2 earned runs over 18 innings with 19 strikeouts to 0 walks. Like, it's really good. I think it's this one bad game is really, really holding down what the total stat line was. Like, other than that, he gave up 3 earned runs in one game, 1 earned run, 0, 0, 0, 1. Like, one bad game really skews that small sample size. And yes, he's been bad in spring training, but I don't really care about spring training that much. So
I get that we always say like we don't we always say we don't care about spring training. We get it. But with guys like Bubba Chandler who don't have a large track record yet, right? And you want to see them do it in the spring. And he's not. The strikeouts are there, fine. But right now he's a little too inconsistent for me, and I don't know if I'm willing to trust it. And I mean, what's to say they don't go and limit his innings just the same as they do Yesavage, right? Maybe not quite as much, but like he's in the same ballpark, right?
Yes.
So there we go.
He is, yeah. I mean, he's projected up around 143 for ATC, the bat X. Steamer's got him all the way up at 162. I don't know if I see that many innings out of him, especially because Pittsburgh is just god awful. So I don't think they want to risk the fact that their season's going to be done in early June to blow out his arm or something. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like Chandler. I just don't feel like I can trust him yet.
Yeah. All right. So there's more followers here, but it's a lot of injured guys. So thinking I'm going to try to group some of these guys together here and start with Hader's kind of in his own realm here. So Corey, you got a thoughts about Josh Hader, so I'll let you have him. His ADP, now I guarantee you his ADP much, much earlier in the year was way higher than this. But previous 2 weeks that we're talking about, which is like a month ago, was around 109. It's dropped even more to 119. Obviously, they've already come out and said he's not going to be ready for the year. Is it far enough in your mind?
What is that? 119. That's like
so
the 10th round.
10th round in a 12-teamer.
No, I wouldn't take him at that point yet. I like when it comes to if I'm taking a 10th round pick on a closer, I want I'd rather take Ryan Helsley, who I feel like is probably going later than that, or Jeff Hoffman, who's not starting the year injured. Like I've been poo-pooing Josh Hader's price since we started talking baseball 2 months ago when we first started, and I said, dude, yes, he's coming off of a shoulder. What's to make it say? And then here we go. Now it's a bicep, and he's starting the year injured. And do I have any confidence that his arm is suddenly going to get magically better anytime soon? Not really. They have an amazing reliever behind him, and Brian Abreu, who's probably one of the best 10 relievers in baseball. Like as long as Brian Abreu is the closer, I expect Brian Abreu's like borderline top 10 closing pitcher. So I don't know. I think if Brian Abreu gets off to a good start, which I fully expect, they are going to be extremely cautious with Josh Hader, and they're not going to rush it back at all. And so I I just will never touch Josh Hader until if he fell to like beyond probably Pete Fairbanks. Where's that? Like 150, I would say somewhere around 150. I'd be back in, but until then, I'll probably take all those other guys ahead of him.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm not really puddle of that, but
really
I also want you
either.
to then finish off with Edwin Uceta from the Marlins, who's going to start the year on the IL as well. He was a potential closer, but now looking like he's obviously not going to. Now his ADP was way outside. I mean, he's already outside of 300 to 308. Now down to 338. He was like one of the, especially like 15 teamers. He was definitely one of those like, I'm just gonna hope that this guy lands a job. I fell into that trap, and then not even a week later, he lands on the IL. Not yet, but he will be. So swung and missed on that one. That's the risk you take with that strategy in a 15 teamer, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So your quick take on Hader, and then you said like any chance that you would take draft him at this point.
Yeah, I mean Hader, I agree with Corey. I'm not touching him in the 10th right now. I feel like he's just been falling off for a few years now. When he's on, but there's just too many days where he seems like he's getting hit up way more than he's performing. At least when I've seen him. So
he's pulling the Aaron Nola of relievers. Good, bad, good, bad, good. I'm always going to use that joke as many times as I can. AJ,
Aaron Nola is the reason that the U.S. is in the World Baseball Classic after Italy.
I will say they
made a laughing stock out of them. Yeah, I mean,
it's him and Vinny P, who Joe was hating on earlier. That's like Vinny P, American icon. 3 home runs.
Yeah, right.
Joe's hating on him.
Drinking his espresso in the dugout.
Yeah,
that is the best thing.
Whatever works, man.
Y'all see that?
He's out. Home runs out.
That is so awesome to come in. They're like what?
I
just blind
you, Vinny. I'm on board with it. As far as you said, yes, I'm out on Hader. I mean, he's such a dart throw at the end of the draft anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really afraid of it. He's still got a dominant, K rate at 32 plus, after having, nearly 36 last year. The walks increasing is a little scary, especially for a closer, because if you come in and then you're walking that first guy,
right,
that just screws everything up for you, and it's in your head, and the whole rest of the inning could be crap unless you randomly get into a double play right after it. But
where you can strike out a lot of guys, which you said it could do. So there you go.
Well, exactly. So I mean, you may walk the first guy and then strike out the side, and then you don't have to worry about it. But I definitely like his ability for that, and I mean at that cost, I don't care if it's a back end, in a categories league or saves holds. Fine, give it to me.
Yeah. I will say I did in the Earth draft that I did this past weekend. I did take Uceta as one of my closers. That's probably not going to work out. I took him at like 251. So at the time, it was probably right around his ADP, if not just slightly earlier. Like everybody was going bonkers over closers. But I just felt like I had to take the chance, and now that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to go dumpster diving some more for some potential closers because I think I only have one. So that's not going to work. So fab money it is. There we go. All right. We'll get 2 hitters out of the way here, and we'll do Jordan Westburg, Corey's favorite, and Jeremy Peña here. So Westburg going to be missing at least the first month of the season. I'm not confident that's going to be how long he misses. I think it's going to be longer. And Jeremy Peña dealing with the broken fingertip issue. They're saying it might not, he could be ready for opening day, maybe like the week later. There's no timetable yet for him, but that doesn't sound like a lot. Westburg has fallen. He was a much earlier draft pick, earlier in the draft season. He has fallen all the way down to 329, so basically not drafted in most 12-team leagues. Jeremy Peña has gone from 89 to 112, so still drafted pretty high. I think people are fairly confident, like I am, that he's not going to miss a huge chunk of time. AJ, I will let you take first pick here.
Obviously, as a nose fan, I like Westburg. I like what he's done when healthy. That is obviously a problem with him. And again, like you said, that draft cost is 0. So if you want some depth, why not take a flyer? But you're just throwing him in an IR spot or IL spot for, I don't know, however the hell long it's going to take him to get back on the field. And then he might just end up back there anyways. So again, it's just a dart throw. You take him in the draft and then throw him in the reserve, and then you have a streaming spot for pitching. So Peña, though, I do like Peña. I think he is. I think he's making good progress, and I'm not as worried about his injury, even though it is a hand. I usually steer pretty clear of those guys just because of the power sap. But dropping 23 spots is pretty worthwhile to me. I was actually targeting him in Fantasy 6-Pack for a while as a second shortstop. And, right about the time I was kind of looking at going after him, I had a hard choice. I took someone else and then was debating on whether or not he was going to come back, knowing that he probably wasn't, and he did not. So, but I do like Peña and where he's at so far. I'm okay buying that, especially if it falls, even farther in the next couple of weeks when drafts are really kicking in.
Yeah, I ended up drafting him at 142 in the Fantasy 6-Pack series.
He was going late.
His average was 134, so I got him a little later than the average, but it wasn't like awful. You are in the Harry Callis. Yeah, so he went at 130. Yeah, so you just missed him. But and look, I took the chance on him, and I've got Lindor. He's got another injury, so I ended up having to take Ezekiel Tovar, like with the last round pick. He sat there forever, and I'm like, well, I need another shortstop, so let's go.
Yeah. I was struggling.
I have to do it
in outfield, so I went with Stephen Kwan instead, and was hoping he would wrap his way back around, but he went five picks later. So, yeah.
All right, Corey, your thoughts on Westburg? Are you buying the dip on this guy?
This time last year I was all over Jordan Westburg, and
we all were.
And it burned me, and his is a torn UCL. Like, you can play through that, you can hit through that, but the last we heard was he was getting an injection in his elbow, and so he was going to miss at least April. He has not had spring training yet, which means if he's, let's say he's fully healthy by May 1st, then he has to go out to spring training. You're getting him in June. I don't know. I'm just kind of out at this point too. I don't really it's the last round. Sure. Like AJ said, you can take it, but I'm like, I don't care if he's gone. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. And I did draft Jeremy Peña in Fantasy 6-Pack series. I think I got him around pick 140. I'm in Vince Scully. If you still got it up, Joe, I think I got him around 139. So I think he was my third shortstop, and I just thought the value was too good. I already had Gunnar and Corey Seager by that point, but at some point, his is like, he might miss opening day. That might mean he's back in the first week. Like, yes, he may not play 2 weeks from today. He could just as easily play that weekend. Like, I'm not really worried that he's going to miss a lot of time. So just getting this big discount at this point is, I'll take it all the time.
Yeah, absolutely going to take it.
Yeah. The other knock on Westburg, too, is that he's only third base eligible this year, where he was second and third last year. So that hurts his stock.
Well, I mean, third base still sucks. So
it does. It does.
There we go. So
don't get me wrong. But second base is probably still worse.
All right, gonna throw this one out, and Corey, this is more of a you and me because we are huge fans of this guy, Ivan Herrera. Draft stock falling. Now he is utility only. Previous ADP was 157. Now it's down to 170. I have been all over him in drafts, and then of course, as soon as I took him, got a knee injury. So you're like, oh no. Now he's even farther away from getting catcher eligibility, which is why I took him. Not the whole reason why I took him, but like, that was a huge hope. I don't know if I would have done the same had I known a knee injury was in the mix. Guy already has a long injury history. 170, that's still super cheap though for a guy that, like, if he was healthy, and I said it in my Twitter feed about my picks when I took him in the Fantasy Six-Pack series. If this guy had catcher eligibility, you said it too. Like he'd be drafted within the top 5 catchers probably. The guy's just an amazing hitter. He's just got to stay on the field is the problem. So, what's your thoughts on the dip here for him? You still in?
I am, just because I think that it's very vague. They've said knee inflammation. Like, what does that even mean? I don't know. I wish we had more like a concrete statement here, but I know that he's supposed to be back at practice, but does that mean he's back to hitting, or is he just like, is he playing catcher at all? Because like you said, if he had catcher eligibility going into this, I think you'd take him in the same range that like Shea Langoliers goes. His StatCast page is like a thing of beauty. It's awesome. Top 10 percentile expected, or top 15 percentile expected slug, like a 47% hard hit rate. He is pounding the ball out of there, but like you got to deal with the util only. So in Fantasy Six-Pack Series, we have 3 util spots. I took him. I don't remember where I took him, like mid 160s or so, I want to say. And
you had him at
you look him up too.
74.
174. So
you got him at 174 or 171.
Yeah.
So
You guys are right there. He went
other people, because the knee injury hit
7.
People got him at like
287,
287. Like, wow. Well, that's because you guys were drafted slower than we did. So that's the benefit of that, right?
But I think 287, that's a steal.
Pretty good.
Dude,
what happens if he misses a week? He misses a week. Maybe he comes back. Do you know off the top of your head, Joe, how many games you need to get catcher eligible in Fantasy Six-Pack Series?
10.
Is it 10?
Should be 10.
So let's say he misses a week. He plays catcher once a week, or twice a week and he's got it by the middle of May. Like,
I think they're already saying they're pretty much just playing him DH for the most part. Like
he was sitting.
It's because of the elbow. Like he can't throw. So like
he was sitting in my draft room, and I just had him like the top of the Fantasy Six-Pack cheat sheet, just sitting there, and I'm like, why? Like I knew why, but I'm like, I want to take him, and I'm just trying to fill these other spots, and it was like, all right, I'm ready to pull the plug, and then boom, I was like, God damn it. But again, it was 287, so it's like, okay.
As of today, news came out saying he's expected back in action soon. Herrera played in a B game Wednesday and has been returning to full workouts. So there we go. But still, the problem will be likely slotting in a DH.
I do think he's valuable enough to play at DH. Like
I do too, especially in a multiple DH league.
Yes,
I agree,
I'd rather have it around pick 200 if he's just going to play DH. But he could hit 30 home runs. Like that power is in there for him to hit 30 home runs if he maintains that hard hit rate. And as DH, he'd play every day too. So
right,
he's usable.
And look at this, like 19 bombs and 388 at bats last year. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
284 batting average, 373 OBP. Like, okay, even if some of that regresses a little bit, that's still a phenomenal number for a pick as far as you're getting him right now. I say slam dunk. He should not be dropping at all right now. All right.
I was ready to grab him at the 24th round. He went 3 picks after I had just drafted Stanton the round before for outfield more than utility, but oh well.
All right. So I'm obviously there's 2 pitchers left here on the board that we're talking about, and it's Quinn Priester and Blake Snell. Corey, I've clearly got to ask you about Quinn Priester. What's your thoughts here, man? As the Milwaukee Brewers fan, you've got to – what do you think here? Like, he wasn't super highly drafted, 274. Now he's outside of the top 300, 314. That's a 40 slot difference here, pretty much. AJ almost overflowed his beer. Great pour, man.
That was a great pour.
Idiot. I mean, like, are you? He's got injury problems himself at this point. But what's your thoughts on him?
So before we came on the air tonight, I read on MLB.com he's going to start the season. Yeah, on the injured list. He has lingering wrist discomfort from last year. They're hoping to avoid surgery. I don't like to hear that. Wrist discomfort hanging over when they're hoping to avoid surgery means that surgery is not off the table. So he's not high end enough. I wouldn't take him at all at this point. The Brewers pitching staff, the only pitchers that you have to take are Woodruff, and you have to take Mizrowski at some point. But like after that, it's a lot of. I'm sure some of them will be okay, like Chad Patrick, Kyle Harrison, Brandon Sproat. Some of those guys probably will deliver something, but
they're streamers.
Yeah, they're streamers, right? Exactly. End of the draft, and if you get hot, like Kyle Harrison's had a pretty nice spring training, and Brandon Sproat's a highly regarded prospect, but like you don't need to draft those guys. And Quinn Priester wasn't high enough end that I wouldn't bother taking him. I'd just wait to see before we get some further updates there on the wrist, as far as I'm concerned. And then Blake Snell, I don't know, man. Like it just adds another layer. I think they said he's probably like 5 to 6 weeks away from pitching, and it just adds another layer of further uncertainty on already perhaps the most uncertain, like most volatile pitching profile in the game. Like if he's out there, he'll be awesome. He's probably a top 10 pitcher.
Correct.
I think he's every inning he pitches, he is as likely to go 7 innings with 13 strikeouts as any pitcher in the game. But do I have any confidence that he's going to pitch 130 innings at this point? Not really. Like, so, you know, I've got him in a dynasty league. I play him when he's out there, but it's like, okay, I'm going to get 100 awesome innings probably. But other than that, you can't have any confidence in it.
No. So I will say I own 1 share of Blake Snell, and it is in Raslam, which is a best ball league.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
And we have 43 roster spots, so I can eat an IL guy for a couple months. And when he comes back, I've got the 10th best pitcher in the entire league. And I got him at 17-11. So do the math. I don't want to right now. So
yeah, that's
it was pretty late. I was staring at him for like 4 pounds. And like, okay. Sad though, I did drop Estevez right in front of him too because I was tired. I just didn't really think about it. That seems like a really bad pick at this point. Oh well. All right, AJ. Any thoughts on either one of these two? You know what?
Not really.
Any thoughts on Snell?
I mean, I like Snell. I think I would take a flyer on him for sure, just because of the upside that you're getting and the fact that he's on probably the best team in baseball, or close to it. So, look, I'm not buying this back-to-back stuff yet. Okay.
You have to get 3 years, Joe, before you've proven anything to AJ. When it's that 3rd World Series ring, then AJ feels like you've actually delivered.
Exactly. Yeah, and I don't count this 2020 COVID year shit. There's nobody in the stands. It's not a real championship.
Remember when Zach Greinke was sitting in the crowd with like all the cardboard people and he was like loving it because he hates everyone? Just a great time.
That's great. That is great. Anyway, but yeah, no nothing really on these guys.
Alrighty. So that's it for all of the followers that we have.
You skipped one.
Or did I
The
miss
very
one?
top guy there. The very top guy.
Oh. Yeah. I don't really want to talk about him. He pisses me off. All right. We'll have to do it. So let me pull some extra information on him. And it is the aforementioned Hunter Greene. Oh boy. So what do we do here? So, a month ago he was going around 42, and then the injury news came, and it was nobody really knew what was going on. So didn't really fall super far. 116, I want to say in the Fantasy Six-Pack series, I got him at
195.
Funny enough, we were like
We were just
the
talking about
fastest draft. And it's hilarious because we were like one of the fastest drafts, and everybody was like, no, we out. Pick 195, and I'm like, sure, click. Pick round 17. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. Still didn't know the news yet, but he's going to pick 81, 81, 84, 84, 78. 50 was an auto pick. That's an accident. Anyway, over the last... I will do all drafts on NFBC because his recent ADP is going to matter in this conversation. So his recent when did the news come out? Like a week ago, over the weekend, Monday.
The latest news happened on either Monday or Tuesday of this week. The surgery update.
So let's go Monday to today and submit Hunter Greene. His recent ADP is now all the way down at 330. So this dude's gonna miss what? 3.5 to 4 months, probably.
till July. Yeah,
That's a long time. So he's gonna miss. He won't pitch probably until July, early July at best. Any chance that you take this guy now, considering his ADP now is like well outside 3? Are you taking him with like basically in a normal 12-team league, your home leagues? Even in an NFBC 12-team draft, pick 330. You take it and mustaching him.
No.
No?
No.
AJ? NFBC leagues have what?
I would probably
six
stash
benches?
him. I would probably stash. No injured spots.
No, NFBC definitely no injury spots.
No.
So I will say that does make a difference. If you have an IL spot,
yeah.
multiple of them, Hunter Greene should go way earlier, in my opinion. However, you're gonna run into multiple injuries.
Yeah,
I forget because honestly, I don't play a ton on NFBC. I forget how many bench spots do you have in an let me go to my Earth team.
I think you have, is it
Not a ton.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7? You have 7.
I said 6. Okay, 6, 7. I had to do it before AJ did it. I had to do it. If he was about to.
I wasn't actually.
Did
But not this time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm on the fence with it. If it were a team with an IL spot, I would do it. But
Well, here's my thing. Like, he's gonna miss 14 to 16 weeks again. Like, that means he's back pitching in 14 to 16 weeks. Not that he's back pitching in the major leagues. Then it's going to be, well, he hasn't had any ramp up period. So then it'll be okay. When we need a month of that, so we're looking at 20 weeks, over under 40 innings.
you say 40?
40.
Oh, I'm gonna go over on that.
I would lean over
50.
60. Now we're getting a little.
I think
tight.
we're leaning. I think we're probably getting closer to like 80, 85 from him.
Oh, no, I don't think that. But
I
think he comes back like mid July, late July.
To the major leagues. You think he's back in mid-July?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't. I think he's back in mid-August at the earliest. I think he's back ready to pitch in mid-July from his elbow surgery, and then they're going to warm him up, and they're going to take it slow because he pitched, 4 innings of spring training? Like, he's barely pitched at all.
If,
1 inning of spring training.
and
they're going to pitch him
one, and it
extremely
wasn't
slow. They're
good.
gonna pitch him, like 2 innings at low A, and then 3 innings at high A, and then 3 innings at mid or double A, and then by the time he's all ready to get to the big leagues, it's August 10th, and then it's 5 inning stretches because the Reds will be out of it, and he'll pitch like 40 innings. So no, I'll pass all of it. If there's an IL spot, that's different. Sure, you can stash whoever you want, but anything else, I'm out. Nothing, no parts.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like if it were NFBC league type thing, you know, I got 6-7 spots, you know, bench spots, and
6-7,
and you can't.
Nailed it.
And you can't sit there and stash him. That I'm out too. So all right, let's move over to more fun, more exciting, more optimistic, more happy news. Let's jump into our risers in the draft. And which way do we go? Do we want to go with guys that are earlier on, a little more high named? You know, Corey, I'm going to ask you here. I'm going to ask you here because this is your guy. And he knows exactly who I'm going after. And it is Jarren Duran crushing spring right now. And he keeps calling himself out in our own Discord. So make sure you join that over there. Open to everybody. Members get a little bit more access. So go over there. Along with the cheat sheets and everything else that we've got over there at Fantasy Six Pack. F6P Pod saves 15%. He has risen 7 to 8 spots so far over the last couple of weeks here. You starting to feel a little bit more confident, Jarren Duran?
I am. So we did the bus. I probably was feeling pretty good about Strider, but I'm feeling pretty poor about my pick of Duran already in that. My logic was that he struggled against lefties last season, and that was true. But like the dude's hit home runs off Chris Sale and Drake Skubal in spring training, and he's been nothing short of awesome before he headed out. And again, spring training is what it is, but like he's been pretty strong in spring training, and then it's carried into the World Baseball Classic. He was 7 for 12 in spring training with 3 home runs and 5 RBIs. And now that he's down was playing for Team Mexico, 5 for 15 with another 3 home runs. So 6 home runs in 30 at-bats in spring training. And I said a couple of them are against left-handed pitchers and not scrub left-handed pitchers. Drake Subal's amazing. Chris Sale's a future Hall of Famer. Like, so if he plays... Okay.
They're no Hunter Greene, guys.
Yeah.
No Aaron Nola.
If he plays against lefties, I think that Jarren Duran can deliver on the, what is it, 65 is what we are at now? 65. If he's playing against lefties,
65,
he can That's
yeah.
And that speed, man, that speed is
really
unreal. Like he's got the steal potential, man. So I like it.
I do too. I'm fine
AJ,
with that,
to save time here, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna ask you about a Philly. Let's go. I'm just gonna start. This is gonna be a fun one. Andrew Painter, man. What do you think about Andrew Painter? He's rising. Look, still not an expensive pick, right? He's going from 286 to 270. Don't even know if he's gonna make the team out of camp. Signs are saying he will. But look, this guy's had a very rocky start to his major league career. Not been healthy. What's your thoughts, man?
Well, yeah, I mean, coming off the Tommy John, that was unexpected and, basically derailed his whole projection, as it has so many other pitchers in the league. I mean, he's all but guaranteed a spot in the rotation to start the year, especially with Wheeler, still working back from his own injury. I'm excited for Peña. There's a lot of insider Philly people that I listen to on the radio all the time that just talk about how he's the real deal, and he's almost without saying it completely or have heard these exact terms, but like a generational talent that we hear about. He's just going to be that good. Now we just haven't seen that yet. He's still under 10 K per 9 in 25, which is a huge dip from 13.5 from 22. Obviously he missed all of that time from injury. So he's still got to build some stuff back up, I feel like. And last year in the minors, I mean, he wasn't good. 5.40 ERA in AAA, still hovering just under 4 in single A. Granted that's only 4 games. Innings wise, he's gonna ultimately have a cap somewhere. Steamer's got him at 115. The bat's got him under 100, ATC under 100. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to push him around 115, 120, but I don't know if I want them to. He's going to be the future, and if he's got the hype that everybody's been talking about, take it slow. He's already had a Tommy John. This will be that, year after-ish period that they always talk about where everybody's stronger after that initial, comeback. So I am excited, and I think he's going to do good things for Philly this year.
I took a flyer on him in a couple leagues. I was kind of just looking for pitchers near the end to take flyers on, and
yeah,
he always seemed to just still be there. And I'm like, the upside with him is way better than anybody else on the board. And if I drop him, the rest of these guys are all streamers, so I don't really care. So I figured, why not? Let's just go. All right, Corey, I'm going to throw a couple of Cincinnati Reds at you, and I'm going to let you kind of take one, and then you can leave the other one to AJ here. We got Sal Stewart going from 191 to 175. Despite, in my opinion, still some concerns about if he's really like the primary in the primary starting lineup. Like, kind of sounds like he still might be a utility guy. He's moving around, going to second base in spring. Spencer Steer's been playing actually a lot of first base in the primary lineup still. So that's a concern. Matt McLain, though, red hot in spring right now. This was my sleeper a few weeks ago. It was going to be Sal Stewart until what I just said. Switch over to McLain, and he is paying dividends, going from 186 to 169, crushing it in the spring. You pick one, throw the other one over to AJ.
Well, I'll just talk about Matt McLain because you mentioned crushing it. I mean, I think he's leading in nearly every offensive category. It's impressive enough to talk about it. Like, he's been up 28 times and he's got 17 hits. That is a 607 batting average. That is probably unsustainable. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he doesn't hit 607 this year. I know. Just a little bit of a hater here, but
you don't say.
13 runs, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs, and a steal right now. When you brought him up during the bus or the sleepers episode, I'm not the biggest fan of Matt McLain, and I'm not, but I will say the 2 strikeouts to 5 walks. That's encouraging. Like, this is a guy, I said, he's pushing 29%. That's always been my fear, and 2 strikeouts and 28 at bats is nothing. I mean, it's like less than 15%. So if he can keep the strikeouts in check, I can be proven quite wrong on this one. And it's looking like, at least based off spring training, that's what's going to happen. And 169, that's what, like the 16th round still for a second baseman who actually shows signs of life. Like, yeah, I get it. I would push him up there too, because second base is ugly, and Matt McLain's showing something at this point, so take him a little earlier.
Yeah, in the fantasy six-pack series, I got him. I'm pretty sure. I can't type. Oh, come on. Somebody else do this for me.
152.
Thank you. I don't know why I can't type right now. I was typing.
I do, but we don't need to
I
got him at 140, so his average overall was right
151, so I got him right around average.
151. So
I'm surprised he wasn't going a little bit higher. I was willing to reach, like I said, I actually got him just under the average. I was willing to go higher. Like, I didn't care. I thought he was good. Needed second base. All the second base after him are not worth it to me, and I thought he has a little more upside. So, AJ, that means you get Sal Stewart. Drop from 191 to up from 191 to 175.
Yeah, McLain was my only auto pick in the entire draft. But
boo-hoo. That sucks, man.
I know. Yeah, it's like, really? Okay.
Considering we all
damn you guys.
And you got him at 140?
I got him at 140.
Oh, so you helped the average make me go just below it. Thanks.
I mean, he went 95th in the John Miller League.
I saw that. Damn, that's
I mean,
like an 8th round pick
though. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm doing that.
That's a lot of love.
All right. Sal Stewart.
What you got? So Stewart, I mean, yeah, I'm on board with it. He's still super young, 22. You're looking at someone who's basically, he's hitting towards the end of that lineup. Well, he's hitting 5th, so middle of the lineup. He's the protection for Suarez and Cruz. Not really much after him batting wise. So he's kind of that last ditch effort for batting in the lineup there. Spring training, he's hitting 308. Okay. I'm on board with that. Last year 255. So definitely a big drop there. No, I'm not doing 6-7. But I think that I don't know. I like Stewart. His walk rate needs to improve. K rate needs to improve. Drop. But I think in this lineup, I think this is a good team. I think Cincinnati's going to be competing again, and I think Stewart's going to be a part of that.
Yeah, I still think the issue with Stewart is I'm not sure he's got a solidified role. I really just don't. Even our good friend Mike Kurland over here, after I kind of brought it to his attention, and at first he was like, "Oh yeah, no, it's definitely his." In the very next article, and he hasn't written a whole lot since then because it's been the Baseball Classic and lineups aren't really, real at this point. But Sal Stewart made 4 starts and only 1 has been at first base, twice at second base, and once at third base. He's being moved around to get reps, but this is the opposite of what was told via early reports entering spring. On the other hand, Spencer Steer was anticipated to be the utility type, with Sal factoring in regularly at first. So there we go. That is a huge concern in my opinion, and it is why I have just avoided Sal Stewart in drafts. I'm not confident in the role. Maybe it comes eventually because he's a better player than Steer, but do you want to spend a pick? Like, how many people are going to pick Sal Stewart, watch him play 3 out of every 7 days, and then drop him, right? So then I'll wait till he finally gets like a semi-regular role and pick it back up. That's what's going to happen if things don't turn around during spring once the players start returning and things like that. I'm kind of out on him right now. So we're going to go Let's go down here to a pitcher that I really want to talk about. And a Tampa Bay Ray who has been really, really good in his career, but dealt with injuries. Shane McClanahan looking really good this spring, honestly. More importantly, like we're talking about velocity for guys like Spencer Steer being down. Shane McClanahan looking like he's kind of right back where he should be, right? ADP rising, but still super cheap, man. 195 overall. Let you guys fight over who wants this one.
I love McClanahan. I'm all over trying to go after him. He's currently projected to be the number 3 pitcher there behind Rasmussen and Pepio. He's better than both of those guys when he's at peak level. Yes. So obviously, the past 2 years have been brutal with these injuries. He hasn't pitched since 2023. So that plays a huge role in this. And even that year, he only pitched 115 innings, but he was still very good. In my mind, he had 3.29 ERA, 2022 a 2.54 ERA. He's just a solid pitcher. The K rate I'd like to see keep going back up instead of kind of going downhill. But his walk rate's also going downhill. So, it's a little give and take there. And even in 23, he was pitching above, expectation, with a 320, that 329 his xERA was at 4.08. So, he was pitching a little better than expected, but I still think he's definitely worth the flyer at this point. I'm okay with that cost.
Velocity's down from like his high end in his career, much like Steer. The difference is his is he's climbing, right? And there's talks that he's only throwing at like 80% right now. So they're kind of they're definitely easing it back. We're not hearing that from Strider, but Corey, if you have any thoughts about that, go ahead and mention that. But I want you to talk about your boy Jac Caglianone.
Okay. Thoughts on Shane McClanahan is he's good. It's a good price for him. I'd be willing to take that chance. I think his price is good. Caglianone's just been on fire. Like, I think he's going to make a run at 40 home runs this season. Like, I think he can do it. It might seem high and optimistic, but then I look at what he's doing, and he's got the exit velocities. Even last year when he was bad, he had the exit velocity, and then between like the WBC and Kansas City, he's got a couple home runs in spring training. He's struck out and he's walked more than he struck out at both levels. So they're small samples, of course, but 8 strikeouts to 5 walks. I am probably part of the reason this ADP is going up, because I feel like I see him and I'm always like, why is he still here? And I need another outfielder, and he's still outfielder.
Okay.
And so I take him. And so I love Jac Caglianone at this point, and I will take him at, what does it currently say right there? At
182.
I feel like I usually take him like right after 160-ish. So if I can get him at that range, he is like almost an auto pick for me.
All right. All right. We're going to finish the show with 3 rookie prospect guys here. It's fun. JJ Wetherholt going from 236 to 218. Connor Griffin going from 134 all the way up to 132. Yo, baby. And then Kevin McGonigal going from 288 to 244. AJ, first pick.
I'm going to go with Wetherholt. He was my late round target for shortstop after I, missed on a lot of people in the fantasy 6-pack series. I was just waiting. I was waiting and missed out on him too. But again, that's after I got a couple other guys locked up. I think he's going to start. He has a role, so I'm not afraid one bit of going after him, especially at this cost. I mean, we've got him at the last 2 weeks. He was, at 218, and previous 2 weeks he was down at 236. Not a huge uptick. I mean, it's 17, 18 picks, but I'm willing to take that cost. I think he's definitely worth it to go and grab earlier than expected.
Yeah, potential is there for sure. Lineup isn't going to be super great, but
I mean, he's leading off.
I don't hate the draft cost. I don't hate the draft cost.
Yeah,
Corey,
for a leadoff guy,
and then I will.
When you're trying to pick that later.
Yeah.
So JJ Wetherholt quickly is the best value of the three, I think, because of where he's going, and we've said before, leadoff hitters are super valuable. I'll take Connor Griffin with the 132 ADP there. So let's quick update on what Connor Griffin did last year, in case anybody doesn't know. Top prospect in the game between as a teenager, a 19-year-old, between low A up to double A, 117 runs, 21 home runs, 94 RBIs, 65 steals, 333. It is a superstar of superstar lines, and I get all of the appeal of it. And then he's been perfectly okay in spring training. The highlights would make you think he's been amazing because he's got bomb home runs, but he's got 5 hits. He's 5 for 26 with 3 home runs. That is a 192 batting average. Now, there are rumors that the Pittsburgh Pirates are trying to convince him to sign a longer term extension. If that happens, I'd be fine with taking him at 132 because then I think he starts the season up here. Until that happens, I think Connor Griffin could hit Matt McLain levels of 600, and I think he would find himself back in Double A to work on his defense, because I don't think they would promote him even if he hit 700 in spring training until he has signed a longer term extension with them. So I get it. I get spending that pick on it. It'll never happen for me. I would probably take him about 180 if he was still there, and it never happens. So I do not have any Connor Griffin. But if he somehow comes up earlier than I expect, sure. Could he do I don't remember what L.A. De La Cruz did in a half a season, but it was really impressive. That's kind of what you're hoping. He could be that type of a player. L.A. De La Cruz, Fernando Tatis, that is in there for him. Is it in there as a 20-year-old he would be this season? I don't know. Probably not. So I won't get him at 132. I get why he's moved up to that level, but just realize he has not had nearly as good of a spring training as all the highlight videos would make you think.
No. Yeah. No, totally agree. Yeah, don't buy into the moonshot home runs that he's had. They are impressive and they are fun, and at least two came in one game, or did all 3 come in the same game?
I think it was 2. I think it was 2 and 1, and I think he had one of the different
either way, still, it was just impressive to see that. And then it was just oh, it's all over. The balloon is just never gonna stop filling. So I'll go with Kevin McGonigal. Phenomenal spring, right? Hitting a bunch of bombs, batting 350, his slash line 350, 458, and 700. A lot of talks he's going to break camp with the Tigers here, starting at third base. I don't know, man. If you really want to take a chance with that, round pick 250, I don't have a problem with it. Because honestly, man, if that hits, cool. If it doesn't, you just drop him. You go get whoever other schmuck you probably would have picked at that point. Those picks at the back end, that's when you go for upside like that, and I have no issues with it. If you were going around Connor Griffin range, I probably would pass. But he's playing well. He's got talent. I don't see why there's no problem with that at all. And if he comes up and he can beat out the platoon looking right now at third base between Colt Keith, who has not, really panned out here, and mix of like Javi Baez and whoever else is supposed to be third base, which is probably another reason why he's projected to break camp with them. Then, maybe early on he bats like 7 or 8, but you could see him moving into like the 6th spot, maybe right behind like a Spencer Torkelson. That's some good RBI potential. There's some good hitters in front of him in that lineup. Carpenter, Greene, Torkelson, Torres up top, debatable. But
that's my second baseman on the fantasy 6-pack series there that you're slandering, Gleyber Torres.
And so, I'm sorry, actually, totally botched that. He actually is projected because it's weird. They don't have him highlighted like gold on roster resource. So it's because he's a non-roster invite. So they have him breaking camp, batting leadoff. Mm-hmm. It's wild. Totally missed that. Apologies for that. I was thinking that was part of the header where it has like players. And then I just skipped past it because I'm looking for player names in gold. And so I went player to Gleyber Torres. I didn't even look at the numbers. So actually they do have him breaking camp. That's wild. Yeah, man. I think he's an easy target at that range. And I wouldn't be shocked at all if this just keeps climbing at this point. So any final words, fellas, before we close out here?
We're getting there. 2 weeks from tonight, man. 2 weeks from today.
Baseball Classic, even though they beat our ass. How about that?
Mark DeRosa should be sending a gift basket to Vinny P and Aaron Nola. It's a man.
I still don't understand why he's the damn manager, but whatever.
Yeah, totally wild. I got a fun one, and I totally forgot to say this. So we're talking about home run totals. Connor Griffin has a home run total on FanDuel. How about this? 14.5 at -102. Unders at -128. Let's finish it off with this. I'm going under. What do y'all think? I can't do it.
I would lean the under, yes. If he comes up right away, he will go over that, but I don't think he could.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think he sits in like confident. When did Skeens come up? Like June? I feel like it was like June when they first called him up, right? And we all knew
it was. Yeah, it was later than everybody thought.
And so Bubba Chandler, we talked about Bubba. Like they've had what?
They wait on their
super
guys.
Prospects recently between Jared Jones, Paul Skeens, Bubba Chandler. Like none of those guys started the year with the team, so I don't.
AJ,
I'll take the under.
Yeah, I'll make it 3 for 3. I don't think he's.
Yeah, we're boring. That's kidding.
Logical. Any money.
No, it makes
now
sense.
I feel like I got money on the line here, and I'm like, oh man,
it makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. All right. Well, that is it for the Fantasy 6-Pack Hour this week, presented by FanDuel. Thank you for tuning in. Next week, we're going to talk about just the end of the spring. Guys that are rising and falling based off playing time, production, that kind of stuff, to get you prepared for those last-minute drafts that you're going to have before the season starts on, I believe, March 25th. So tune in next week, and we will see you all later. Thank you.